And welcome back. Bruce Porter joins us now for this week's Dollars and Cents segment. Good to see you again.
Good to be here.
You doing well?
Yeah, I'm surviving this pandemic.
All right.
Surprisingly well. I put on the COVID-19.
There you go. Good on you. Speaking of which, we're going to talk to like disbursement related to all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to hang on to my notes because it's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try to break it down to where it's a little bit simple to understand. Coronavirus-related distributions when it comes to your retirement accounts. So this is a little thing that Congress passed on the 19th of June. The IRS adapted it. They're allowing you to take money out of your retirement accounts penalty-free if you're an affected individual. Now, when you look at what's an affected individual?
Right.
Well, if you've suffered a financial hardship as a result of the pandemic. So, if you've had a reduction in pay, well, you're an affected individual. If you've had a job offer that was pending, they've rescinded it, or they've delayed your hiring, which has caused you financial heartache, now you're an affected individual. If you've had a spouse or a family member quarantined, and you've had to be off work, then you're affected. If you've been furloughed or laid off, so that's a new word we've all learned about.
Yeah, the furlough thing.
Lately, right? So that means you qualify if your hours have been reduced. And the last one, if you are missing work due to child care issues. So if your daycare is shut down and you can't take your kids there, and you can't go to work because you don't have daycare, then you're an affected individual.
Okay, well, what do you have to do? You know, how does this process work? You can't just go in and say, yeah, I'm affected, give me my money.
Well, so here's the deal. I'm sure there's going to be paperwork to fill out.
Right.
This was just passed 4 days ago. So my advice would be to talk to your tax people, talk to financial people. As soon as we get the protocol for how people can apply for this or what they do, I'll bring that back up on another show.
Okay.
But they're basically waiving penalties on up to $100,000. Now you still got to pay taxes.
Yeah, don't forget that part.
But they're going to spread that tax liability over the next 3 years, 20, 21, and 22.
Okay.
They're going to let you pay that back at your discretion. And if you do pay that back, they're going to give you a refund of the taxes you paid. All right, so that's good.
Yes.
And you don't have to put it back in your 401k. And I've always talked about the control issues of a 401k versus an IRA.
Right.
So instead of putting $100,000, for example,
back in
your 401, you can simply put it back in an IRA account, which you have more control over for the future, and you'll get refunded back. Now, here's another thought. What if, because they're spreading your tax liabilities over the next 3 years, and they're waiving the penalty if you're under age 59 and a half,
right?
Why not pay that back into a Roth IRA? They've already spread your taxes out for you. You've absorbed it over a 36-month period. Now you've got a bucket of tax-free money for the future. That's what we talk about when you come to see us at the Resource Center. So my advice, ask an expert, call us, we'll be glad to help. You can go to 882-1800, you can go to our Facebook page, and I've got the link to the IRS rules on there.
Right.
Or you can email us at info@trc-mo.com. I'll be glad to help.
Okay, we've got about 20 seconds or so, and just, I guess, a simple answer. This is across the board for all the different retirement plans.
That's right. You're able to pull out up to $100,000 without that 10% penalty. Now, if you're above 59 and a half, you still get to spread your tax liabilities, and you have the ability to pay it back or put it back in an IRA or put it in a Roth and have it spread out.
Over like 2.5 years.
Lots of constant changes you got to stay up on. So stay tuned.
Give him a call. There's your expert right there. Thanks a lot, Bruce. Appreciate it. All right, up next, more Tech Tuesday finds, this time from me. It's a trip to the Consumer Electronics Show, Ozarks Live. We'll be right back.